The Great Gatsby is one of the most famous pieces of literature, and it's known for its portrayal of the 1920s, the Roaring Twenties, the Jazz Age. But what would happen if you would take the story of the Great Gatsby and put it 100 years in the future, in 2022? Yes, it's been 100 years. To begin, we're just gonna start with the fact that inflation has made everything way more expensive, and for simplicity's sake, everyone's just gonna live in the same houses, same cottages, making the same whatever, just adjusted. Because I'm not able to do the math. Because if you break it down, for $80 a month, back in 1922, Nick Carraway could get this whole cottage to himself. I pulled it off of the movie. Now, $80 in 1922 is equivalent to $1,393.60 in 2022. And for $1,350 a month, you can get one bedroom in a 4-bedroom flat or apartment on the Long Island Sound, not even on the water. So for simplicity's sake, everyone is just gonna kind of stay where they are. Now, in the 2020s, and that time around, COVID was running rampant. But in 2022, that is when the mask mandate had been lifted from most states, and most people were vaccinated, so life had started getting somewhat usual again. But for this case, they're rich, they don't care. Atmosphere. In the 1920s, the Gatsby party was the place to let loose, to have fun, to not care, to get the alcohol, and meet people. If we set it in the 2020s, or 2022 to be specific, it's going to be an influence event with a lot of people with cameras, so people are not going to let loose because everyone knows it's going to be documented. But you are there to typically meet people. Also, I did put a bunch of neon lights because in my mind, for some reason, the Gatsby party in 2022 consists of neon lights, like a club, versus class. Alright, for the music, there would still be the live music that the Great Gatsby did have. As in the Great Gatsby, there was a lot of live bands playing jazz, classical, making people cry, fight, whatever. There would still be live bands, a bunch of mini concerts playing whatever is selected from that band. But when the bands are not able to perform, we would also have the DJ mixing and dropping the beats. And when the DJ and the band are both unavailable, a QR code could be scanned as you walk into Gatsby's house, and you can add to the Gatsby's House Party Spotify playlist. I don't envision it going well, but it's there, and I think it would be kind of funny. Now, the look. Everyone knows the 1920s look, the flap or whatever. In 2022, you had the hair trends of the bob and the pixie, so we are keeping it short, also known as the bixie, which is the in-between. I just learned about that. It was the time of at home, so people would get themselves at-home haircuts, people were depressed, so it was the time of bangs. Yes, I did fall victim to this one. For the men, you've got a nice medium length that was rocked casually, and the mullet made an appearance. Along with that, so did the blowout style and the faded hair, nice ombre. Colors were not kept neutral for everyone, so people did put a pop in them, but that's mainly the hairstyles of the time. For clothing styles, because of Bridgerton, you saw a lot of corsets being worn in fancy settings, a lot of mesh and lace was being worn, cutouts. If you want something a bit more casual, you've got the ballet core or the 2000 low rise. I don't know why that made a comeback. I guess people missed their childhood during COVID. And of course you have the oversized baggy suits because I guess no one had a tailor at the time. Alright, now for the makeup, very popular at the time, you had the smoky eye and the siren's eye, make everything pop, mysterious, dark, along with graphic liner, either black or colorful, up to the choice of wear. It was a time where people had too much time, so they really experimented. You had the blush around the whole face, really making it rosy, like you've got sun. You had the bejeweled eyes, a nice look, I think Ariana Grande sported at some point, and a nice bold lip as well. Thank you, Rihanna, for modeling that. You may notice there's a lot more female fashion for the look than the male fashion, because just like with the 1920s, it's not as fun to look at what the men wear. I'm pretty sure if they showed up to the Gatsby party, they would be in sweatpants, because why not? Alright. Did it die? Versus. In the 2022 of the 1900s, that was right, alcohol was banned. They're on prohibition. So, the alcohol prohibition equivalent, Breaking Bad corn popper things, I think they taste disgusting and should be banned along with the other substances that they make in that show. That would be like the new Gatsby party. Instead of polo, it would be golf, because who plays polo in America? That is very European now. No one really keeps horses in New York. It's too much city. And instead of the yellow car that Gatsby has, I think he would still have a yellow car, but it has to be iconic. But Gatsby didn't have a yellow iconic car at the time. That never happened in this 2022 version. So I gave him the Bumblebee car, because it's the only yellow car that I think is iconic. I gave him the 2007 Camaro one, because it's the one I know best, it's the one I like the most, and it has 2 stripes, like a bumblebee. Alright, as I was putting together this whole thing, I kind of asked myself the question, would the Great Gatsby even happen? Because the whole point of the Gatsby parties was to get closer to Daisy, was to meet someone who had a connection to Daisy so that he could remake the connection with Daisy. You don't need a party to do that anymore. It's something called social media. I'm willing to bet that Gatsby, if it was in 2022 after COVID and whatever, he would have gone online, found Daisy's profile, and just sent her a message. Yes, he was a wuss. We all know he could have crossed over. He was trying to invite someone. Work around. He finds someone who is connected to Daisy through the Instagram, through the Facebook, through the whatever, and then finds a roundabout way to meet them, just the same way he did in the book. So, would the Great Gatsby even happen today? Roundaboutly, yes. Would it be big parties? No, I don't think so. I think instead Gatsby would just be on his phone all day, trying to find people to connect to Daisy to, and, kind of stalk her a little creepily like he already does in the book. Anyway, how I think it would happen if we kept the story, took out just keeping it online, and actually looked at the whole picture together. Well, how I think it would go down. After so many years in lockdown, Nick Carraway, who is a salesman, he sells NFTs, because apparently they make a lot of money at one point. I don't know if they're relevant in 2022. Maybe it's Bitcoin. Who cares? He wants to get away from it all. New start. It's been 2 years since lockdown, so he moves to New York City, because that's the place to get away, apparently. He moves into a nice cottage between 2 giant houses, and his neighbor is rich and has parties, even though lockdown just finished. It's still kind of going on. It's a bit iffy. I don't remember much from that time. Anyway, he notices, so he Googles and finds out it's a Gatsby party. Everyone is posting, oh my god, it's a Gatsby party. I went to the Gatsby party. Have you heard of the Gatsby party? Everyone knows in New York. It's great. But Gatsby himself, no online presence. So Nick Carraway goes, I'm gonna go visit my cousin. He goes over, and while he's there, he witnesses Jordan and Daisy, like usual. Instead of smoking cigarettes, they're probably vaping, and they're drunk, like they were in the original. That doesn't change. And how do they know that Tim, or is it Tom, is having an affair? Oh, simple. The Tinder notification keeps going off. It's not that he has to go to his phone every 20 minutes. It's the Tinder notification, because Tom's not that smart. Let's be real. He'd probably just forget to put notifications off. Anywho, finally, Nick gets an invitation from Jay to go to a Gatsby party. And it is a letter, because Gatsby is kind of, he would do that. I still believe in the modern age, he wouldn't just send Nick a DM, it would be a physical letter. Nick, suited up in somewhat nice clothes, probably a nice pair of jeans or something, goes over and meets Jordan. They talk. Gatsby appears. No one knows what he looks like. He has no online presence, so they don't know. Same thing happens. They meet, realize connection to Daisy, and then I'm pretty sure the whole thing is. I just kind of envision the whole story kind of working out the same way. Just put smartphones in it. The only real change that I could think of how it would go would be at the end. All right, so we're gonna skip over. All right, last 2 chapters. Nick, Jay, Daisy, Tom, and Jordan all go to New York. They have a fight. Daisy still doesn't know who she loves. Tom just says, "Go back to the house, take the yellow car with Jay." And they go, and they're driving, but Daisy's driving Bumblebee, and Nick's like, okay, that's a smart idea, and it's like, it's fine. So Daisy's driving Bumblebee, and Jay's in the passenger seat, and the lady still dies, but the difference is cameras. All right, listen, it's a busy New York street, crime's very rampant in New York, it always happened in the 1920s when the mafia ran everything. There would be a lot of security cameras everywhere, and I'm willing to bet that in 2022 someone had a dash cam. So, how I envision it was a court case happened because you realize you can get a lot of money if you sue them. You know, actually put him to jail. Daisy gets out of it because Tom pays off some people. Jay takes the fall, and then he ends up in jail. Funeral still happens, and it's still lonely. So yeah, really, I wouldn't change much. Just make it a bit newer.